Do you ever miss the forest for the trees? Do you ever find yourself missing out on the big things that God's doing around you, the macro plan that He has for the world, because you're so focused in on the little task that you're doing today? I'm like that. In fact, just the other night, I was driving and I was listening to our worship service from a few days before. And I was just kind of evaluating how the service had gone because we record our services every week. And I found myself, after a few minutes, I realized I'm completely evaluating the service based on the audio mix and the how well the instruments played together and how in tune the voices were. And I realized I just did kind of a gut check and I thought to myself, you know, we could have the most perfect sounding band, we could have the perfect audio mix, everything could have gone completely well from a musical standpoint, but it would have meant nothing if people weren't entered into a spirit of worship. Sometimes we miss the forest for the trees. And if that's you, you're in good company. Listen to the disciples and how they interacted with Jesus in the book of Mark, chapter 1, beginning in verse 35. Before daybreak the next morning, Jesus got up and went out to an isolated place to pray. Later, Simon and the others went out to find him. When they found him, they said, "Everyone is looking for you." But Jesus replied, "We must go on to the other towns as well, and I will preach to them too. That is why I came." So he traveled throughout the region of Galilee, preaching in the synagogues and casting out demons. The disciples are missing the forest for the trees. The disciples think there's a whole crowd of people who want to be healed, that are sick or demon possessed and need to be healed from you. Jesus could have spent the whole rest of the day, and it sounds like he probably could have spent the next several weeks just staying in one place and letting people come to him, and he would have healed them. And that would have been cool, I guess, but he would have missed the whole purpose for why he came in the first place. And I love that Jesus is so focused on his mission that he's not there just to heal the diseases of the people that come up to him, but rather he's there to spread his kingdom throughout the area. His mission is to go to the neighboring towns and preach there and spread the good news and minister to those people so that it will start a groundswell of followers, that after he dies and is resurrected, those same people will take his message and spread it to the ends of the earth. If Jesus had stayed in one place and been focused just on the people that were around him, he would have had this tiny following. He would have just had a tiny sampling of people who would have heard what he had to say, and perhaps the message wouldn't have gone out to the ends of the earth, and then perhaps you and I would have never heard it either. Maybe we miss the forest for the trees sometimes. Maybe you're so focused in on a specific task that you miss what God is doing in the big picture. Maybe I know this has happened to me, but maybe you don't take the opportunity to go and talk to someone about Jesus because you're waiting for the perfect moment to come up, or you're waiting for an opportunity that it won't seem awkward, or just things will go exactly right. When God is just saying, take a step out and let my spirit do the rest of the work. Whatever the case may be in your situation, perhaps you're so focused in on the task going exactly the way that you think it should, that you miss that God's working in the bigger picture. So let me encourage you to take your head up, lift your eyes up, see what God is doing around you. Take that next step of faith, and then in everything that you do, commit it to the Lord and ask Him to achieve His purposes through it. And you'll find that as you look back on that incident, you'll notice that it falls within a bigger picture of what God's doing. And you'll have followed and obeyed Him along the way as He is building His kingdom in you and through you to others. So let's keep our eyes up at the work that God's doing. Let's not get so focused on the perfection of the task that we miss the bigger picture of what God is doing in our world around us. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.